Hey everybody, and welcome to my In5 series on the SP404 mk2, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. Over in Reddit land, under the SP404 subreddit, Consistent Skin asks, what command can I use to use the SP in a live set, but the changes I make during the live set are not saved? And I think this is probably going to be a little bit of a complicated answer because I'm going to say it depends, but let's just start with the basics here. Anytime you make a lot of different types of setting changes to your pads here for your samples, or if you keep adding things or deleting things out of your patterns, the SP404 Mark II is going to save those changes as you're making them. So it's going to retain those between power cycles. So for example, if I've got this sample and I drop the pitch down, if I come in and turn this off, yes, I just turned it off. We're going to reboot, and you're going to see it's going to have saved that setting. So whether you do like BPM sync, gate, loop, reverse, roll, make changes in start and end, or whatever, you can see here, it's still pitched down. So I would have to, if I'm making a live set that I want to be changing how things are set over time, but I want to have a steady starting point, the best thing I can tell you is going to be, you're probably going to just want to go to Shift, Import, Export, and you might want to go to Export to SD card and do Project. This way, at least when you load, if you have exported your project, when you load it back in, a lot of your settings will be retained. So anything that you have for your pad settings or pattern settings will be reloaded and be in whatever state you loaded them in. So this will give you a consistent way to bring them back. That said, if you have more than one project, you may be better off holding Shift and go to Utility and go to Backup, because then you can back up the state of the entire SP404 Mark II across all of your projects. But it's going to take a long time to back that up to an SD card, and it's going to take quite a while to end up restoring it back as well. So I do feel like having a project that you've exported is a good way to do this. In addition to that, though, if you don't want to export your project, if you go Shift and hit Subpad, we can actually copy projects. So you could set up like project 16, for example, to be your main project, and then you can just copy it to whatever target you want. I'm not going to do this because I have all kinds of stuff set up in my SP404 Mark II the way I want to do, but you could just have like a project that has the state that you want it to be in for your samples and patterns and things, and just copy it to whatever you have as your like actual active live project set. So all of that said, hopefully that makes sense as a way to get kind of a steady state to get things done. Now, if you're just playing samples and then you're going to be, kind of changing your different effects over time, another thing to consider would be you can hold Shift and Mark. And if you hold this down for 3 seconds, it is going to save your EFX parameters. So if all you're changing is your EFX, but you want them to be retained, or you want a specific set of EFX settings restored between power cycles, you can hold Shift and hit Mark. It's going to save them. And then when you reboot the SP404 Mark II, your settings are going to be in the state of whatever you had left them in. So like if I show you an example, we'll just go crank all these up to 12. We will save it. If I turn it off and back on, once I bring this back in and I bring isolator back on, you'll see that those settings are set all to 12 again. So you can see they're all 12. If I go change them, like as I'm playing my DJ set and I'm moving things around, if I turn it off without saving it and then bring it back on, you're going to see all these settings are back to 12. We'll get there in a second. Almost there. And yeah, they're all back to 12. So I would say, between the saving your EFX settings and using some probably a little bit of project management here for just copying projects around or importing projects, I think either way is a completely sane and reasonable way to operate. Beyond that, I will leave it up to see if anybody else has any suggestions on what to do with your SP404 Mark II, to see if you have any ideas for ways to also help out consistent skin here, because I think this is a pretty good problem for people to ask and understand, like different concepts or ways to get your SP404 Mark II in a consistent, steady state when you power it on, especially when you're going to go do a live set, so that you're not surprised by how it works or operates. Anyway, everybody, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good, and peace.